welcome back to our TLE subject, Cookie Written. For now, we will discuss about the week 2 module, which is the learning outcome to prepare soups required for menu items. So, last meeting we discussed about stock. When we say stock, ito yung pagpapakulo lamang sa mga buto-buto, no? Na gagamitin natin, maaari natin gamitin dito sa soup because soup is based on stock. Ayan ha. So, ang gagamitin natin dito kapag tayo gagawa ng sabaw ay ang mga stock. So, there are classifications of soup and there are clear soup. Yan yon. Una, classification to ha. The next one is the thick soup. When we say thick, pamaya, no? Iba yun sa clear soup. And the other types of soup also. Sige, we will discuss first what is clear soup. When we say clear soup, ibig sabihin, ito yung unthickened, meaning to say malabnaw. Okay? It is just came from the broth or the stock. It may be served plain or garnished. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng yung sabaw lang mismo o lagyan mo ng mga pampaganda na vegetables and meats. Similar to stock, except that broth are based on meals rather than bones. So, you can also enhance the flavors of the stock when you were going to serve it as a soup. So, consomme, when we say consomme, it is a clear soup that is based on broth alone, no? Nilalagyan nga lang ito ng konting mga pampalasa. Yan. You can add chopped meat, egg whites, mirepoix, herbs, and spices, and the acidic ingredients, some tomatoes, wine, and lemon juice. So, when we say consomme, it is just based on stock, then we will enrich its flavor using some ingredients. How about the broth and bouillon? When we say broth and bouillon, it is just a plain stock. Wala kang ilalagay unless lagyan mo siya ng mga pampalasa na herbs and spices. Wala kang ilalagay na mga vegetables dyan. And the third one, the last one, is the vegetable soup. It is also came from broth, but you added vegetable on it. So that is the three kinds of clear soup. Okay? So again, the first classification of soup is the clear soup. Under the clear soup, we have consomme, broth and bouillon, and the vegetable soup. Let's move now to the second classification, which is the thickened soup. So, medyo malapot na to. Okay? The thick soup is a thickened soup. Heavier in consistency, ibig sabihin malapot. We usually use flour, cream, milk, egg when we are going to make a thickened soup. The first one is the roux sauce. When we say roux sauce, it is just a mixture of starch and liquid. So, starch, ibig sabihin, pwede yung flour, no? And then, addition of fat liquid. You can have the margarine or the margarine, the lard, or the butter if you want to. So, yun yung mga example ng different fat. Roux, again, it's just a flour and a fat ingredient. Then, the bechamel sauce, you will just add milk into the roux sauce. And then, the veloute sauce naman, it is finished with a heavy cream. Unlike in the bechamel sauce, it has milk. In the veloute, it has heavy cream. But in the roux sauce, it is the base of the bechamel and the veloute. The next one is the cream soup. When we say cream soup, we will add cream into the soup. The first one is the chowder. So, chowder is a soup for the meat. From the fish, shellfish, and the vegetables. So, it has a cream on it. That is what we call chowder. Then, the vichyssoise, no? It is a thickened soup also. We will add cream, and then it is served as cold. We usually have our soup hot, served as hot, but this time the vichyssoise is served in a cold state. Next one is the bisque. When we say bisque, it is also for the shellfish, crustaceans like the shrimp and lobster, but you will add a little bit cream on it, just like the chowder. So the chowder, it is for the shellfish and the fish. However, the bisque is for the crustaceans like shrimp and lobsters. You will also add cream on it. Then the next one is the gazpacho. When we say gazpacho, the base of this gazpacho is a puree, no? Puree, sorry. Puree, it is just a thickened soup of vegetable. Biniblender yung mga vegetable para ito ay matunaw at maging soup. Medyo malapot ito, no? Kapag nilagyan mo ng iba pang raw ingredients, that is what you called already gazpacho. Do you understand? Okay, so the puree, is the base of the gazpacho. When we say puree, it is just the thickened vegetable soup. So the base of this soup is a vegetable. Veloute, it is a soup thickened using the egg, butter, and cream. So ito yung mga ingredients to make a veloute. The next one is the last classification of the soup is the other types of soup. Okay? Tignan ko nga muna kung nagre-record. Sige. The other types of soup. The first one is the dessert soup. So, in here, in the Philippines, we all know ginataan. That is also an example of a dessert soup. Okay? And then, in Japan, we had asheriku, and in dessert in China is the tonggesu. Okay? Okay, let us continue. For the next classification of the other forms of soup is the fruit soup. So, in here, the base of our soup is fruit. Our fruits. Okay. So, alam nyo ba yung minatamis na saging, minatamis na kamote? Those are example of fruit soup. Yan. Next one is the cold soup. It is a traditional soup wherein the temperature when served will be kept in below temperature. Ibig sabihin, malamig ito kapag isiniserve sa inyo. Kaya nga, cold soup. Di pa ako nakatikim niya. Next is the Asian soup. When we say Asian soup or the international soup, these are soup that based on our tradition. Wherein, if you were going to order a soup, you can distinguish where that soup came from or what country does that soup came from. For example, dito sa Philippines, we have our nilaga, sinigang, wherein doon sa ibang bansa,